clear here. From today onwards, I will take attendance at any time. In between also, I'll take attendance. And if you're answering me at that time, you'll get the attendance. If you're not answering me, you'll lose attendance, okay? Because I don't know, I want you people to learn properly, and like most of you are roaming here and there with just owning your mobile and all that you're doing. Okay, make sure that until you finish your classes, you be serious, sit in one room. Okay, so because if you just roam and listen to the classes, you'll not understand anything. Okay, so make sure that from today, anyway, today and tomorrow, like it's fine. From after your internals, no, like I'll strictly follow that. Only when I ask you, I'll call out your names, and only when you are answering me to my attendance, I will mark as present. Otherwise, even if you on it and go, it is of no use. Okay, so this point all of you please keep in mind and pass it on to your friends as well. Okay, fine. Now let me go back to the class. So I'm starting module 4. Okay, so module 4 until Nyquist criterion will be there for exam. 2 more topics today and tomorrow, like it will get over. Okay, so module 4. So in this you'll be digital, the heading of this module is digital transmission through band limited channels. Band limited channels. Okay, so until now you have seen like in the previous classes we have seen like if it is wireless channel, okay, pass band transmission or band pass signal transmission. We have seen band pass signal transmission or pass band signal transmission. Band pass and pass band signal transmission. I have given you the introduction in the third module itself. So what will happen in the band pass signal? We will first generate either BSK, modulate the signal. We'll see the original digital data, will modulate it and will generate S of t. Okay, this S of t will be transmitted through the channel, and at the receiver I'll receive the signal. Okay, X of t will be received instead of S of t because there may be some noise added in the channel. Okay, so that is the reason I'll get X of t. Okay, this signal, from this signal I need to estimate whatever is transmitted. So I need to get the estimate of the transmitted bit. Okay, here the transmitter will transmit this S of t and I'll have the binary data. So I have to get back my binary data. So in order to get back my binary data, and if I'm communicating to the longer distance, or if it is a free space communication, then what I need to do, I need to modulate the signal and then transmit it through the channel, and the receiver will estimate the signal. This is what the flow will happen in the band pass signal transmission. Whatever we have seen in the third module, it is all related to the band pass band pass signal transmission through the channel. Okay, so apart from band pass, you have base band signal also. Okay, can anybody tell me what is base band signal? I've already explained you what is base band signal, and I've told you how to remember that also. And see, yesterday I was evaluating your very like long backs quiz questions where you were writing the answers. Okay, in that, most of you have written wrong answer for what is modulation. Who is this? Ramya? Ramya?
Ma'am?
Yeah, you have on the mic and you're speaking to somebody in your house.
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, ma'am.
Okay, okay, fine. Don't talk. Sit calmly and listen to the class. Okay, fine. So baseband signal transmission. Can anybody tell me what is meant by baseband signal transmission? Baseband signal. Anybody in the class? Okay, fine. I'll not ask questions to you people. Srujan, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me what is baseband signal transmission? Band pass in the sense the signal will be modulated and sent. Okay, baseband is nothing but the original signal. See, whatever I am speaking, it will be converted to the digital data. That digital data we will transmit without modulation. That is nothing but here baseband signal transmission. Okay, baseband, base in the sense the basic signal what is generated is your baseband signal transmission. Okay, so here as it is the original signal itself, will not be able to transmit it to the longer distance, and it should be of wired communication. Okay, wired communication will happen with respect to the baseband signals, and it will be of shorter distance, not longer distance. Okay, so here in this module 4, no, we will be studying everything related to the baseband signal transmission. Okay, so how you'll be able to transmit the original signal as it is, and what are the conditions, how whether you'll how the digital data, so zeros and ones, how we are converting and how we are transmitting it through the channel. Okay, this is what we'll be studying in this module. Okay, so coming to the baseband signal transmission, so what we were doing, we were not able to transmit like what we were doing, this is my digital data, it will be in the form of zeros and ones. All of you please understand this. Okay, it will be in the form of zeros and ones. So what we'll do, for this we will get the NRZ format or RZ format or whatever format. Okay, so we will have the amplitude shifter or amplitude shifter, or we call it as NRZ format or on-off signaling code, something like that. Okay, so what this will do, if I have a 0, if I'm using NRZ unipolar, then what happens, if I have a 0, there will be no amplitude. If I have a 1, it will be the signal generated will be of root EB. Root EB will be the amplitude here. Again 0, no signal. 1, again I'll have the amplitude. Okay, this is how this block will convert. Okay, so whatever conversion is happening, this is said to be the discrete pulse amplitude signal. Okay, discrete pulse amplitude signal. Okay, so why I am calling it as discrete pulse amplitude signal. Okay, so the amplitude of the pulse will be changed. Okay, so here this is my binary data. For this binary data, I'm giving the I'm changing its amplitude. Okay, so this whatever output I'll get here, it is said to be the pulse amplitude modulated signal. Okay, and most specifically here I'll call it as discrete pulse amplitude modulated signal. Pulse amplitude modulated signal. Okay, so this PAM signal I need to transmit as it is through the channel. Okay, so let me just take the picture again. So let me consider that I am transmitting it through the band limited channel. Band limited. Can anybody tell me what is band limited? Band limited. See, I'll come back again. I have the transmitter, I'll have a channel, okay, and then I'll have the receiver. Okay, so this is what the general basic communication system. Now what I'm doing, the transmitter is not modulating the signal, because here for the short range communications I can easily transmit my signals. The baseband signals can be transmitted directly. Okay, so I'm using the transmitter, and from the transmitter I'm getting the baseband signal, and that will be transmitted through the band limited channel. Band limited channel is nothing but the filter. Okay, band limited, it means that it will allow only specific frequencies to pass through it. Okay, let me consider F1 and F2 is the upper frequency and the lower frequency of your band limited channel. Okay, so now what I'm doing, I'm transmitting the square pulse. Okay, let it be either it can be NRZ or RZ, whatever it might be, don't worry about that. And let me consider it will be in the form of a square signal only. Okay, square this signal. Okay, so this signal I have to transmit it through the band limited channel. Okay, so when I'm transmitting it through the band limited channel, it will allow only certain frequencies, only from F1 to F2, like that. F1 and F2 are the upper cutoff frequency. Low F1 is lower cutoff frequency and F2 is the upper cutoff frequencies. So whatever signal I'm transmitting it through this channel, it will be only from within this range, from F1 to F2. Only this range signals will be transmitted through this channel. Okay, hope you people are following. Any doubts you're getting in between, please let me know. Okay, so but what is happening here, this is nothing but the square signal. Okay, so the square signal needs infinite bandwidth required to transmit this square signal is infinite. The reason behind that is, so anybody knows how this here you have the sharp discontinuities, right? This pulse signal is nothing but the square signal, whatever it is, you have the sharp discontinuities. Okay, so in order to get this sharp discontinuities, what we'll do, we will not to generate this particular discontinuities, what we'll do, we'll basically consider the sinusoidal signal. Okay, we'll consider the sinusoidal signal. See, to construct this square pulse, what we'll do, will not be able to generate this sharp edges. Okay, in order to generate this sharp edges, what we'll do, we will take the sinusoidal signal. Okay, sinusoidal signal will be taken, and to this sinusoidal signal will be adding the higher harmonics. Okay, so can anybody remember what is Gibbs phenomenon, which you have studied it in signals and systems? Gibbs phenomenon. Do you know or not? Just tell me the answers, because I want to really rush. No. Okay, so Gibbs phenomenon, in the sense, what we'll do, we will take the basic sinusoidal signal, okay, Fourier series, okay, whatever you call, okay, and to this what we'll do, we'll add more number of frequencies, okay, more number of harmonics are nothing but the frequencies. Okay, the more number of frequencies you add, the more sharper edges you get. Okay, so here to get this proper sharp edges, I need to add more more number of higher frequency harmonics. Okay, with that what happens, this sharp edges can be achieved. Okay, because of that, what is happening, the bandwidth required to transmit this square signal is more. Okay, so that is the reason when we were discussing the advantages and disadvantages of your digital communication over analog communication, we were discussing that to transmit the digital signals you need high bandwidth. This is the reason. Okay, so what is the reason? See, what we'll do, we will take the sinusoidal signal. Okay, we'll take some sinusoidal signal with fundamental frequency f. In the sense, the frequency of this signal will be f. Now what we'll do, to get the square signal, to construct the proper square signal, what we'll do, we'll add so many frequency components, like higher order frequency components will be added to this particular signal, so that what happens, you'll be able to get the proper sinusoidal signal like this. Okay, so in a proper square wave like this. So if you want to get proper square wave like this, you need to add more number of frequency components, higher order frequency components to this basic sinusoidal signal. That is nothing but the Gibbs phenomena. If you add less harmonics, you'll have signal in this way. If you add more harmonics to this, then you will not have so many discontinuities like this. You'll just have only one discontinuity. Okay, so the more number of frequencies you add to it, the more the proper sinusoidal signal will be able to construct. Okay, so here what I want to tell you here is, so since the square wave consists of higher order frequency components present in it, to transmit all the frequencies present in this square wave, it requires high bandwidth. Okay, but we are passing it through the band limited channel. Okay, since we are passing it through the band limited channel, as the name itself implies, the bandwidth of this channel will be very less. It means that it will allow only certain frequencies and other frequencies it will not allow. So when it is allowing only certain frequencies, what happens to the output? It will not allow all the frequency components present in this square waveform. But what it will do, I'll get some distorted sinusoidal signal like this. Okay, so here what happens? See, let me consider this square pulse is from 0 to TB. Okay, so here what happens, from 0 to TB, I'll get only this waveform. And after, like here what is happening, instead of getting the proper sinusoidal signal with the fundamental frequency f, see here what I'm doing, I have converted the basic sinusoidal signal to the square pulse, and the basic sinusoidal signal will have some frequency component f. Okay, so to this I'm adding more number of higher order frequencies so that the square wave is generated. Okay, now when I'm passing it through the band limited channel, what is happening? I have to get either I have to get the transmitted signal as it is, okay, which is nothing but this square wave. Okay, but since it is a band limited channel, I will not get this square wave. Okay, I will not get this square wave. So what I'm getting the sinusoidal signal kind only, but it is not the pure sinusoidal signal, but it is a distorted sinusoidal signal. Okay, distorted sinusoidal signal. Why I'm saying it is distorted sinusoidal signal? See, I'm transmitting this signal. Let me consider I'm transmitting this signal. Okay, so from 0 to TB. Huh?
1 second, me, Sarla.
Sarla, tell me.
I want them to inform one thing, that I have sent one Google form to in WhatsApp group. Tell them to fill all students.
Okay.
That is very important document. I have to submit it within afternoon. For that reason, I am telling you guys. 6th B students, everyone submit the details.
Hope it is clear to all of you. See what you do. Ma'am has circulated one Google form. Okay, it is required for VTU purpose. So they want all the details related to that. So make sure that you all fill it before 1 o'clock. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Sarla.
Thank you.
So make sure that you all fill that details. It is all related to your personal details only, like your name, your USN number, your address. I think few of them have filled. My students have filled. Okay, but this is a new one. As a class teacher, she need all these details. Okay, so you make sure that everybody, all 6th B students, make sure that you fill those details. Okay, fine. Coming back to my class, I'll just take it neatly. So I have the square wave. Okay, I need to transmit it through the band limited channel. Which will allow only certain frequency ranges to pass through it. Okay, but to make the sinusoidal, to make the square pulse, what we'll do, we'll take the sinusoidal signal with fundamental frequency f. Okay, f is the frequency of this particular sinusoidal signal. Okay, so for this I'll add more number of harmonics, in the sense more number of frequency components will be added, so that I'll get the proper sinusoidal, proper square wave with proper sharp, with this sharp discontinuities. Okay, so now I need to transmit this through the band limited channel. But band limited channel, as the name implies, it is it will transmit only certain frequency ranges. Okay, because of that, whatever whatever square wave I have, it will not be properly transmitted through this band limited channel. So what will happen? My output will be distorted. Okay, maybe something like this I'll get. Okay, I'll not get all the frequency components pertaining to this square wave, but only few of them will be passed, so that my signal will be in this way. Okay, so if you just try to look at the output, it is not the pure sinusoidal also, it is a distorted sinusoidal. It is a distorted sinusoidal. Okay, so why I'm saying it as distorted sinusoidal, in the sense like 0 to TB. Okay, 0 to TB, TB to 2 TB. Let me consider, I'm considering from 0 to TB and TB to 2 TB. Okay, so if it is passing, either I should get the pure sinusoidal signal, pure square signal, whatever I have transmitted. Okay, or I need to get the sine wave, whatever the fundamental frequency of this particular signal I have, either I should get the sine wave, so that what I'll do, I will just give it to the comparator and I'll say that if the area under this is this much, give me positive amplitude, and if it is if the area is lesser than certain threshold, give me negative waveform. This is how I can do. But what is happening here, from 0 to TB, it will be the waveform will be like this, and after from 0 TB to TB, I'll have like this. Okay, so I'm neither getting square wave nor the sinusoidal signal. Okay, so what is happening, if you observe, see, whatever I have to get from 0 to TB, it is falling from TB to TB as well. Okay, so what is happening, the energy of the signal is falling falling in the other time intervals as well. Okay, instead of getting the signal from 0 to TB, I'm getting it and that signal is distorted and it is falling in its neighboring neighboring bits. Okay, from 0 to TB is one bit, TB to TB, it is a second bit. Okay, second bit. What is happening here, whatever I need to get from 0 to TB, it is not falling in that, but it is also falling from TB to TB. Okay, so I can say that here the dispersion is happening. Dispersion is nothing but it is spreading over, in the sense like whatever has to fall here, it is falling on the other neighboring bits. Okay, so dispersion is happening here. Time dispersion, maybe I can specifically say it is time dispersion. Okay, time dispersion in the sense, see, if you observe, from whatever has to fall from 0 to TB time, it is falling from 0 to TB as well. Okay, so dispersion is happening here. Okay, so since I have the dispersion, I'll not be able to retrieve back the original signal at the transmitter, the receiver end. Okay, so what is the final aim? I'll have the receiver. I'll have the receiver, and this receiver has to estimate whatever is transmitted. Okay, but what is happening, because of this dispersion happening, okay, I'll not be able to retrieve back the original signal. Whatever square wave I have transmitted at the transmitter end, I'm not able to retrieve at the receiver end. Okay, so and this dispersion, this time dispersion, what is happening here is also said to be ISI, inter-symbol interference. Inter-symbol interference. See, this complete module is related to this inter-symbol interference only. So you should understand this carefully. Okay, so what is inter-symbol interference? One symbol is interfering with neighboring symbol. Okay, so that is what is happening here. See, whatever has to fall from in this bit or symbol. Okay, I am calling it as symbol also, because my m value, if m value is 2, I will each symbol will be of only 1 bit. But if m value is 4, I'll have two symbols transmitted together. Okay, so that is the reason I'm calling in general as symbol. Okay, so what is happening here? The symbol, the neighboring symbol, one symbol is interfering with the neighboring symbol. Okay, so whatever it is interfering, it is said to be the inter-symbol interference. Inter-symbol interference, in the sense like one symbol is falling or interfering its neighboring symbol. That is what is your inter-symbol interference. Okay, so in order to avoid this inter-symbol interference, what we can do is we can put a channel after this. We can put a filter after this. Okay, so what this filter has to do? See, I'm getting the distorted signal. Okay, so to get back my signal, sinusoidal signal from this distorted waveform, okay, what I'll do, I'll pass it through the low pass filter. Okay, low pass filter will have very low frequencies. Why, you may ask me, my mom, why only low pass filter? Because the baseband signal, whatever I'll be transmitting, it will be of low frequency signal. Okay, so that is the reason I need to use a filter with and that filter should be of low pass filter, so that from the output of this filter will give me the pure sinusoidal signal, and from this pure sinusoidal signal and the frequency of this sinusoidal signal will be of the frequency of the initial signal which we have taken and which we have added the higher order harmonics to generate this signal. this square signal. That will be the output here. So that what I'll do, I will take the average value or the area under the curve, and I'll compare it, and I will be able to give it to the comparator, and comparator will give me the correct values. Okay, so that is how we will be able to do the analysis here. What overall what you need to understand here is what is this intersymbol interference. Okay, I hope it is clear to all of you. Intersymbol interference is clear to all of you. Have you understood what is intersymbol interference? Okay. So everybody in the class, I want you people to understand this properly, because most of the like almost half or more than half of the module is purely depending on this ISI, intersymbol interference. Are you all following? Krutika, are you there? Krutika? Okay, fine. This is all related to the introduction. Okay, so anybody have doubt with the intersymbol interference, please try to ask me. Okay, so I'll come again. Intersymbol interference is nothing but the energy corresponding to one symbol that has to fall from 0 to TB. Okay, the energy of the energy corresponding to one symbol. Okay, for any m is equal to 2 or 4, whatever it might be, symbol, I'm calling it a symbol. Energy corresponding to one symbol that has to fall in a certain time period. It is not falling in that time period, and it is falling into the consecutive symbols. Consecutive symbols in the sense it's next symbol. This will fall in the next symbol. This will fall in the next symbol. That is what is happening. This is said to be the intersymbol interference. Okay, or in other way I can tell you in simple way, in the simple terminology, if you want me to tell, one symbol is interfering with other symbol. Okay, so that is said to be the intersymbol interference. To avoid this intersymbol interference, what I need to do, I need to use a filter. Okay, so I need to use a filter after the band limited channel. Okay, after the channel I will be using the filter. Okay, so this filter, what it will do, it will give back my sinusoidal signal with the fundamental frequency. Okay, fundamental frequency which I have used to convert that sinusoidal signal to square signal. Okay, so this is all the very basics, and to understand what is that intersymbol interference. Now I am going to the actual module. Okay, so here I've just introduced the term intersymbol interference. Okay, hope it is clear to all of you. Why we are getting intersymbol interference is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Srujan, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you understood?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Fine. Okay, so one symbol is interfering with the other symbol. It is said to be the intersymbol interference. Okay, now I'm going to the actual module. Here we'll be studying in detail about what is intersymbol interference, how you will be able to avoid, what is the condition, everything will be studying now. Okay, so digital, the first topic is digital PAM transmission. Digital PM transmission through band limited channel. Band limited channel. Okay, so here we'll just see the block diagram. That's it. Okay, so here I have told you, see, after the band limited channel, see, I'll have the transmitter. Okay, after the transmitter, I'll have the band limited channel, and this band limited channel. After this band limited channel, I need to use a filter. Okay, this is what I've told you. Okay, so here, in order to avoid this intersymbol interference, what we'll do, we will filter the signal before sending it through the channel, and after sending it through the channel also. In both the ways, we'll try to use a filter. Okay, so now what we'll do, we'll see the block diagram of the transmitter and receiver, general block diagram of transmission and reception of this PM signals. Okay, so now have you understood which are your PM signals? PM signals in digital communication. See, you have two different types of PM signals. One is in the analog and the other one is in the digital. Okay, so in the digital PM signals, which it is nothing but like whatever waveform you are generating with respect to the amplitudes. Okay, so root EB or minus root EB, like that you were generating. No, this signal is nothing but your PM signal, and here it is only like 1 bit per symbol. 1 bit per symbol. So I will be I can use root TB plus root TB and minus root TB to denote two levels, because I will either have a 0 or a 1. 0 I will generally take as minus root TB, 1 I'll take as root TB. Okay, so this is how we'll be in general generating. Okay, but if I have two symbols to be transmitted together, okay, so 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1, so I need to have 4 levels. 4 different levels. Okay, so whatever levels you are using to denote, somebody interrupted me. Okay. So here, if I have only 2 bits, I'll have only 2 amplitude levels. Let me consider I have 4 symbols. Okay, 4 symbols, 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. So I have to use 4 different amplitude levels, right? So whatever amplitude levels you are using, and with that whatever signal you are getting, that is said to be your PM signal. Okay, so make sure with this the PM signal here is nothing but the nothing but the signal with the different amplitude levels. Okay, so what I'll do here, I'll have the input binary data. This is very, very important question for the sake of internal also, for the sake of external also. So input binary data. See, try to understand each and every word that comes from my mouth. Okay, so because why I'm telling you this is you should know for which answer to be written. Okay, so here what I'll do, I'll give it to the pulse generator. See, input binary data, it will be like 0 1 1 0 1 0, something like this randomly. Okay, so I'm giving it to the pulse generator. Okay, pulse generator. Okay, so what this pulse generator will do, it will give me the PAM signal. PAM signal. Okay, so that let me represent with X of t. Okay, X of t. Then what I need to do, I need to transmit it through the channel. But what I'm doing, I'm using the post filter. Okay, post filter, which is set to be the transmitting filter. Transmitting filter with impulse function as ht of f. Okay, transmitting filters ht of t. Impulse function, in the sense it is nothing but the impulse response of this particular system. Okay, impulse response of this system is ht of t. Okay, and then this x of t, whatever this is nothing but your base band signal. This baseband signal I am transmitting it through the filter, transmitting filter. Okay, why I am doing this? Because I want to eliminate that ISI. Okay, in order to eliminate that ISI, I am using the post filter. This is said to be the transmitting filter or post filter. Post filter before passing it through the channel. Okay, now this post filter output I will give it to the channel. And channel, it may add some noise. It may add some noise to the incoming output. So let me name this output as Z of t. Now the output of the transmitter is nothing but a Z of t. Now this Z of t is transmitted through the channel. Okay, and from the channel it should be received. Okay, so let that received signal be denoted as R of t. R of t is nothing but the received signal. Okay, and as I have mentioned before, if I want to eliminate inter-symbol interference, I have to use filter after the channel. Okay, this is nothing but the band limited channel. Band limited channel. Okay, after this band limited channel, I have to use the filter. This filter I am naming it as receiving filter with the transfer function. No, not the transfer function, with the impulse response HR of t. HR of t is nothing but the receiving filter impulse function. Okay, then what I'll do, I will get my y of t. From this y of t, what I'll do, I'll sample it. I'll sample this y of t. Okay, where I'm sampling y of at t is equal to, I'll sample the signal at t is equal to ITB. Okay, at t is equal to ITB. Okay, so at t is equal to ITB, I'll sample the signal. Okay, so why I'm taking ITB? Because I'm considering that whatever pulse it is generated here, it is of bit duration 0 to TB. Okay, so that is the reason. ITB, I can take any value. I can be either 0, +1 or -1, +2 or -2, like that. This I can be any values from 0 minus infinity to plus infinity, and it can be of any integer. Okay, so t is equal to ITB, I'm sampling it. So since I'm sampling it at t is equal to ITB, I'll get us y of ITB. Okay, based on this y of ITB, I'll have the decision device. Okay, I'll have the decision device. I'll have the decision device which will compare the incoming value with the threshold value. Let me just denote with lambda here. Okay, so this decision device, it will take this yi of t as a one input and threshold as the other input, and what it will do, it will compare this yi of tb with this threshold value, and it will give me output binary data. Okay, and whatever or it is nothing but the estimate MCAP. Okay, and ideally this estimate MCAP should be equal to the whatever binary data I am transmitting. Okay, let me just understand whether you are understanding or not. Are you all following?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let me just explain you once again this general block diagram of your PM transmission through band limited channel. So first I'll have the input binary data. Okay, from this input binary data, this input binary data is given to the pulse generator. Okay, pulse generator, what this pulse generator will do, it will generate the output waveform based on any of the formats. It can be either NRZ or RZ, whatever it might be. Okay, so that using that using some basic pulse, it will generate the pulse output pulse for this binary data. Okay, for the given binary data, the pulse generator will generate some pulse. Okay, let me just take NRZ. Okay, NRZ, and let me consider it is only 1 bit transmission. NRZ bipolar. Okay, let me take as polar NRZ. Okay, polar NRZ, in the sense, what happens here, if I have a 0, it will be given as okay, let me take as -a plus a only, -a, and if it is 1, I'll get as +a. 0 -a, 1 +a. Okay, so this whatever waveform I'm getting here, whatever pulse is generated, that is because of this pulse generator. Okay, so this pulse generator will give me this x of t. Okay, generally let me name this x of t as x of t is equal to x of t. X of t is nothing but the output of the pulse generator. So this x of t is given as I have to get the output waveform for the complete input binary data, right? So it is generally given as summation k is equal to -infinity to +infinity ak. Okay, this ak value can be either +a or -a. Okay, and from what it is generated? It is generated using the basic pulse, basic pulse g of t minus ktb. Okay, so what happens if 0 to tb, tb to 2tb, 2tb to tb, 4tb, like that. Okay, so this x of t represents the output waveform. Okay, and this ak can be either, if I'm taking polar NRZ, polar indicates it will have two values, positive value and the negative value. So if I take polar NRZ, here AK can be either +a for symbol 1, and it will be equal to -a for symbol 0. Okay, so this is your AK and this is nothing but the basic pulse. Okay, so I need to get plus A until what? Plus A minus A what? Okay, so in order to determine this G of T is nothing but I need to take the basic pulse. Okay, basic pulse can be like from 0 to TB like this I'll take, and then I need to have the shifted version of that. That is the reason I've taken it as G of T minus KTB, so that it will give me for the entire bit sequence. Okay, so generally the output X of T is given by this equation. Okay, now this X of T is passed through the this X of T is passed through the transmitting channel. Where is it? It is passed through the transmitting filter. Okay, this transmitting filter is having the impulse response as Ht of T. Okay, so Ht of T is the now see what will happen here. X of T is nothing but the input to the transmitting filter with Ht of T as the impulse response of this. Okay, so I need to get Z of T. Z of T is nothing but the output that I have represented in the block diagram. So if I want to get Z of T, it is a LTI system. So how will you get Z of T? How will you get Z of T?
X of T convolution with H.
X of T convolution with Ht of T. See, this suffix T is there, no? It is just indicating it is a transmitting filter, that's all. Okay, otherwise you can even write as H of T also, no problem. But the thing is, no, since I'm using so many filters here, like just see here I have a filter. Okay, the transmitting filter. Here I have a receiving filter, and here I have the channel. Channel is also a filter. So I'm just denoting C here. So this C indicates it is the impulse response of the channel. That's what that is the reason I'm every time writing it as Ht of T or Hr of T or whatever it is. Okay, so this is Ht of T, which is equal to X of T convolution with Ht of T. Or if I want to represent take its spectrum, so Z of F convolution in the time domain is equivalent to multiplication in the frequency domain. So it is nothing but X of S into Ht of F. Okay, where Z of T, its Fourier transform is Z of F. X of T, its Fourier transform is X of F. Ht of T, its Fourier transform is nothing but Ht of Ef. Okay, capital, whenever I am representing with capital, it means that it is a spectrum, and in bracket I have F. Okay, so this is what is happening at the transmitting filter. Okay, now this Z of T is passed through the channel. Okay, band limited channel. Okay, band limited channel. Let me, for time being, let me assume that it is not adding any noise. Okay, so Z of T. So my output here is nothing but R of T. See, whatever notations I have taken in the block diagram, I'm taking the same. So the output of the channel is nothing but R of T. Output of the channel is nothing but R of T, and the this one impulse function of this band limited channel is HR of T. Okay, now again, all the filters, whatever I've taken, it is nothing but the LTI system. Okay, so R of T will be nothing but Z of T convolution with HR of T. Okay, again take the Fourier transform, it will be R of F, that will be equal to Z of F into HR of F, where HR of F is nothing but the impulse response of the band limited channel. Okay. So this signal is again passed through the receiving filter. Okay, so receiving filter. So coming to the receiving filter, R of T it will get. Okay, then that is transmitted through the receiving filter with transfer with impulse response HR of T. Okay, so that my output here is Y of T. So Y of T is nothing but the output of the filter. Okay, Y of T is nothing but the output of the filter. Okay, so Y of T is nothing but R of T convolution with HR of T. Okay, again, if you want to take its spectrum, y of f is equal to r of f into h r of f. Okay, and r of f is nothing but z of f into h r of f. Y of f is nothing but r of f. In place of r of f, I can write as r of f, z of f into h r of f. Z of f into, what is this?
HC of f, ma'am.
This is hc of f, no? hc of f. R z of f into hc of f into hr of f. Again, z of f is nothing but, again z of f is nothing but x of f into ht of f. So y of f is nothing but h of, what is that, x of f, no? See here,
X of f into h of
x of f into ht of f into hc of f, hr of f. So if this is in the frequency domain, if I want to get y of t is nothing but x of t convolution with ht of t convolution with hc of t convolution with hr of t. Okay, so this is the overall output. If I want to get the overall output of the receiving filter, I need to convolve x of t, the pulse generator output, with the transmitting filter output, transmitting filter impulse function. Then I need to convolve that with the channel impulse function. Then I need to also convolve it with receiving filter impulse function. Okay, so this is the overall output. From this overall output, it is not over. See, whatever y of t I am getting, that should be passed. That I need to sample. I need to sample at t is equal to ITB, so that I'll get yi of TB. So after sampling, it t is equal to ITB, where I is nothing but 0, +1, -1, +2, -2, like that. This I can take all the values from -infinity to +infinity, all the integers. Okay, after sampling it, t is equal to ITB. After sampling y of t at t is equal to ITB, you will have YITB. Okay, now YITB should be compared with the threshold value. Okay, threshold value it should be compared with the threshold value. See, if YITB is greater than lambda is nothing but, it can be either a 0 or some value. I don't know what is that value. So I need to compare that with the lambda. If yi of TB is greater than lambda, I have to take decision in favor of symbol 1. Okay, and if it is less than lambda, I need to take in favor of symbol 0. Okay, so this is all related to the basic general block diagram of your PAM system. Okay, so hope this is clear to all of you. Is this block diagram clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so here you may ask me, ma'am, you have started with ISI, and where is that ISI? Okay, so what is the condition for not having the intersymbol interference? Okay, so that analysis we'll do later. Here I have just explained you the basic block diagram to transmit the baseband signals. Okay, to transmit the baseband signals, how the transmitter and receiver should be. Okay, that is what we have seen until now. Okay, so in the exam they may ask you a question related to this with a neat block diagram of digital PAM transmission system through band limited channel. Explain with a neat block diagram of digital PAM system through band limited channel. So in that case, you need to draw this block diagram and you need to explain everything. Okay, and fine. From this, the next question they may ask is obtain the expression for intersymbol interference. Okay, this is one way of asking the question. Or the other way is, what is ISI? Obtain the expression of output of filter with intersymbol interference. So output of filter, what is your filter? the receiving filter. So here the receiving filter y of t. Okay, so you need to get expression for y of t, and this y of t should also contain that ISI. Okay, so how we are going to eliminate, what you need to make to eliminate that ISI, we have to see now. So this class is until 12:55. 12:50. Okay, fine. So, okay, fine. Now that mathematical expression for ISI, I will derive it tomorrow. So that's all for now. Hope you all understood how the basic baseband signal transmission system will be, transmission reception system will be. Have you understood why I'm using a filter here? Huh? In the introduction, I've explained you why I am using a filter here. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's it. See, next topics will be studying related to the intersymbol interference. So first we'll get the y of t equation. Okay, so this y of t equation will contain both the required symbol will be there, and along with that it will also have the ISI. Okay, so what should be the condition to make this ISI 0? Okay, that all we'll see in the next class. Okay, so that's all for now. Anybody has got any doubts here, you can ask me. And see, one thing I want to make clear, please try to understand the concepts. Okay, all these are like practically will be using these concepts. Okay, so make sure that you understand the concepts properly. Okay. That's all for now. If anybody have got any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, you can leave with the class now. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. See, make sure that you fill all the details which madam has circulated, that Google form. Prakriti.